Avery Anderson, I am so happy for you right now.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I mean, what a situation. Take us through the day, kind of just what you were feeling, what it felt like out there.
So when coach in the pregame was talking about how Kay wasn't playing, I just knew I had to be a bigger leader and leading the team on both ends of the floor. And so I came out being real talkative to my team so they could have the energy, because the energy level was kind of down in the beginning, I felt like. And so I just wanted to bring the energy up.
Keylan, how hard is it to defend this guy over here on your left?
Man, be a battle, man. Almost try to back up as much as I can because I don't try to forget the fact that I'm long and I can guard him. But he's somebody.
So this ending portion of the schedule is 5 ranked opponents, 3 of them on the road, 3 of them top 10. Keylan, how dangerous is this Oklahoma State team right now?
We got the best we can play right now, and we still missing 2 of our key players, so ain't no telling.
We got a lot more to prove. A lot more to prove.
All right, members of the media, if you have questions for Oklahoma State's Keylan Boone and Avery Anderson, please click raise hand, and we'll try and get to everybody. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, Avery, I want to start with the big jumper you had there late. You had Caleb on the low post, looked like, and you waved him away, and you went ISO. Kind of walk me through that play and what you were thinking there.
So at the timeout, coach was trying to get Sherman switched on me and get McBride to go with 1K, because Sherman was guarding 1K at the time. And so when I got the switch off, I knew I could do my thing and try to go get a bucket for our team. And that's why I had moved Caleb out the way, and it was a lot of help on the backside. So I knew I just had to go make the big time play for my team, and the shot went in.
A year ago, I don't think you could have taken that shot. Maybe even a month ago, do you feel like you could have taken that shot? How do you feel like you've grown so much just in the last few weeks that you could take a shot like that?
Yes, sir. I feel like I put in the work over the summer. And even now, I feel like I put in the work. So I feel like I'm confident. My confidence level is high enough to be able to take them shots now.
And Keylan, no Cade, no Isaac. Everyone probably writes you off automatically without those 2. How much did you guys feel like you had to play with your back against the wall and prove something today?
Like Avery said, we need somebody to step up, and I honestly had to do my job a little better today. That just means going to the glass more and making shots and just being active on the defensive end. I felt I really picked up today, and my confidence has been high over the last couple of games now. So I'm just trying to look game by game and doing the same thing.
What kind of flipped your confidence the last few weeks?
Just better practices, staying focused, and just trusting the process. Ain't no skipping nothing, just keeping my head strong, to be honest.
And for either one of you, M.A., Bernie, both had big days. What about the days they had?
Big time. Bernie had, I think he had 10 offensive rebounds.
10 offense.
7 offensive rebounds and 10, I think, defensive rebounds. And that, whatever, it was big time. It was big time rebounds for us, and they played a key role in why we got the win and why we was able to get out and run and do our identity.
Yeah, M.A. was big time too with his buckets and being aggressive towards the rim and rebounding.
Awesome. Thanks, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Keylan, that last big defensive possession where you got a hand on that pass, was that an instinctual deal, or was that something that you had seen on tape as part of preparation?
Just really instincts. We knew they was trying to get it inside. They was trying to run a player right up under Culver. So we just read the play pretty good, and they had good ball pressure, so I was able to get to that pass.
Very good. Our next question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, I'll start with Keylan. How were you guys able to keep the mindset strong, I guess, whenever you see them shooting? I think they shot 14 more free throws than you, and you guys are having guys foul out. How do you not get frustrated with that and just continue to play?
We know we're a good offensive team, so we know we're going to get to the spots and get the shots that we need to. And luckily, we have good shooters on the court at all times usually. But we just was trying to get good baskets, then get good stops on the defensive end. And when we get good stops, it really translates towards our offense because we have the offense to do it all.
And then for Avery, I kind of want to go back to what were your kind of thoughts whenever Cade signed? Because I mean, Isaac and Cade, they came into the year like as you guys two best players. They both play your position. Kind of what were your thoughts going into this year?
I didn't really have anything. I mean, because I knew I could play with anybody, so I just couldn't wait to play with him. Cade, a big time player in his class, and Ice playing with him last year. I just couldn't wait to get started with them guys.
And then for either of you guys, you guys it's been Cade and everybody else this year. We've kind of talked about this with you guys in the past, but how, I guess, vindicating is it that you guys are able to win this without Cade? Now you'll get him back later. Kind of how vindicating is this that, it's not just Cade and some other like scrubs, it's Cade and you guys.
Yeah, just our team is real versatile, and we could do a whole bunch of things. A lot of people could do a whole bunch of different things. Like Key, he could shoot, he could rebound. 1K, he could make plays, he could shoot, he could play defense. So a lot of people could do different things, and that's why we're so versatile.
Avery, what nicknames do you have, and what are your favorites?
They call me A Bug. I just like A.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Our next question comes from Danielle Dwyer from Fox 25. Go ahead, Danielle.
Avery, I wanted to start with you. Is it like headband magic today? What do you think kind of got into you? I saw you had the headband back, and you said you were gonna, I think, bring that back. But do you feel different with a headband on, I guess? Or
yeah,
what was it
gives me
today?
some superpower. It gives me some superpower, no cap. But yeah. No, I'm just playing. It's just all work and preparation and believing in myself and knowing I go out there, play with them guys, and just do what I got to do to get the win for my team.
On a serious note, the headband obviously definitely worked today, but on a serious note, what is it about Cade that has helped you all like gain kind of confidence in yourself throughout the season? I feel like, I mean, that has to be contagious, seeing somebody with that much confidence and playing around him, but what is it about his presence that has allowed you to gain confidence as well?
Just his energy and being a good teammate on and off the floor. Just talking to us when we come out of when we sub out, he's just talking to us and telling us what he sees on the court and just being a real good communicator for us. And that's what everybody needs. Also, Ice, when he's out, he does that.
And then Avery, was there a certain point in time that you felt kind of the switch flipped for you this second half of the season here, where you were just really hitting a rhythm?
I would say so. Just knowing the games from the past, my role changed, I would say, in becoming a scorer, and just knowing I just got to put the ball in the hole and play defense, and that's it.
Do you remember maybe at what point that was, or what between games, or when that was for you that kind of really switched?
I'll probably say the Kansas game, probably. That's when it really had turned on that I had to score for my team and also play defense for my team.
Mm-hmm. And then Keylan, for you, you had some really huge threes today coming at like key times for you guys. How do you stay ready when this season's been a little up and down for you, as far as like just maybe minutes and things like that? But what has led you to be able to stay ready for these moments like this and come in and drill some of those key shots for the guys?
Really, my teammates in practice, preparation is key, and my teammates been keeping my head strong, staying with me through this whole season. And they seen how practice started changing for me, and they seen how it started relating to the games. And I'm just trying to stay positive, and they helped me with that. And the coaches kept believing in me, and they still believe in me. So I'm just going now at this point. We're just playing.
Awesome. Congrats. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Garen.
Fellas, congrats on the win. That was big time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
For both of you, a lot's been made of Cade's unselfishness and his willingness to get his teammates involved over the course of the year. Has his doing so put you in a better position to do things like you did today, to sort of step up and take over when he's unavailable?
Of course, he draws a lot of attention, and so that spreads the floor out for us. And whenever he's on the floor, he could draw the double team and make the good read and the person just got to make the play out of the double team. And when he's not on the floor, I would say it gives a whole bunch of other guys to show what they've been working on in the gym.
Yeah. Keylan, it's said that the best players make others around them elevate their game. Is there a specific instance in which Cade has helped you grow as a player this year?
He's really helped me with my confidence when I was really at my lowest. Not shooting the best this year, and I know last year I shot way higher, but he's really helping me keep my confidence up. He's telling me to pull Wednesdays, throwing to me. He's telling me to stay positive, to look towards the next shot, and he's just a courageous teammate.
Okay. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, and our final question is going to come from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, guys, it's one thing to win without Ice and Cade, but to win with the severe foul trouble you guys were in, Moncrief fouls out, Kuma fouls out, Avery, you and Caleb had 4 for both of you guys. What did it take to win, especially those last 5 minutes when you were playing double shorthanded?
Just keep going. Coach said we're not gonna get no call. So we already knew we just got to finish the play. And on defense, just keep flying around and doing what we're doing. Get hands on the balls, and that's it.
All right.
Keegan, what do you say? What did you say about the foul? How persevering through the foul trouble?
Go ahead.
Say that again one more time, sir.
Yeah, it's one thing playing without Cade and Likely, but you also played down the stretch without Kuma and Matthew, Avery, and Caleb's in severe foul trouble. How did you guys persevere through that kind of foul trouble when you were already shorthanded?
Coach said we just got to play smart basketball, and the offensive end we had that we just had to get good stops and secure with rebounds. What put us in foul trouble is we gave up some second chance rebounds, and that hurt us. So we just had to do the little thing is secure the first missed shot, and the rest of the game was handled. So we figured out a way to do that.
You did a lot of different things. You're playing post defense a lot tonight. Is that fun when you get to do different things and it works out so well for you?
It works. Sometimes it'll be fun, sometimes it's not, but it works.
All right, fellas, well, that'll do it for questions. But before we cut you loose, is there anything that's important to you guys that maybe we missed that would probably be worth going over while we've got the group here together?
So I would just say we're not done yet. We got a lot more in front of us that we're trying to prove. And when we get back at full strength, it's going to be something to watch.
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations to both of you. Got a happy bunch of Cowboys about to get on an airplane, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, safe travels.
That boy, Avery. You gotta watch.
Hey, Coach, I think you're muted. Can you please unmute it?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
All right, yes, sir. Well, I mean, what a closing stretch to the season. What a performance today. What a unique circumstance. Your thoughts on the game? Maybe we just start there.
Well, I gain more and more respect for guys who do this in their 70s by the day. So guys like Coach Boeheim and Coach Williams, the Hall of Famers, who are still tricking away and winning a bunch of ball games. It's a lot of fun when you got a group of guys who care about each other. Man, winning is hard, but it's certainly enjoyable going on the road and banding together the way we did under some, obviously, circumstances, which I'm sure people were easily willing to take the other team in today's matchup.
With these especially really in these last 7 or so games, it seems like there's no winning formula the same over and over again. It seems like it's been a completely different performance, and all of them seem to be working. I mean, is that something that you would end up taking more pride in than almost anything out of this?
But part of it is the beauty and challenge of the Big 12. I say it all the time. I think it's what makes the Big 12 the best basketball conference in the country is, every game you're looking across from you and there's a Hall of Fame coach with really good players who's been in every situation imaginable. and everybody plays differently. And so if you're going to have success in this league on any level, with any level of consistency, you have to be able to adapt. And our kids have been unbelievably adaptable to whatever situation was thrown at us, whether it be style of play, foul trouble, injuries, whatever the case may be. Obviously, we had a pause early in the season, and I'm just proud of these guys. I mean, to finish the season the way we did when, again, everybody looked at the rescheduling deal and said, man, you guys got a tough draw. And, to be honest, I've faced enough adversity throughout both my life and my career here. I don't really sweat it like that. I mean, it's an opportunity to go out there and compete. And if we have a chance to go out there and compete, we're going to try to prepare as best we can and try to put ourselves in position to win.
All right, members of the media, we had all kinds of great questions about Cade for the players. Maybe now we kind of shift more of the focus towards the guys that played today.
Good luck.
So, it's worth a shot, right? All right, if you guys could click just raise hand, we'll try and get to everybody. So our first question will come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, I want to start with Avery's day. He said he knew he needed to do more. What did you see from him and his growth today alone?
I think it's a great sign for the future of Oklahoma State basketball, that we got a guy who's gotten better. I think he's the most improved player in the country. I think he's the most improved player in our league by far. And today was an example with, our best player in Cade and our leader in Ice both out, that he just did a little bit more than he's been playing well now. I mean, he's having a really good year. But I thought today, knowing what the moment required, that he stepped up to the challenge and certainly met it.
His jumper there late, I asked him to kind of walk me through it, where he waved Caleb away from the low post and ISO. He said it was kind of by design to get that matchup. Is that what you were wanting there?
Yeah, I mean, we Avery had it going today pretty good, and I trust him completely to make a play. I've said this before. I'm not sure how many. He might be the best guy that we have at creating a shot. Kay's our best guy, and at the end of the day, Avery understands at the end of games, Kay's gonna have the ball in his hands. But I don't feel bad at all. Like today when we were close and I knew it was going to come down to us having to execute, putting the ball in Avery's hands, knowing that he's going to be able to get a shot, especially if teams are going to just have one defender guard him. So we got the switch that we thought we could try to take advantage of, and he stepped up and made a huge shot.
And you got big days from other guys too. I mean, MA had a big day, both Boone twins, but Bernie too. Kind of talk about just the depth that you guys put on display today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I don't pay attention every game. I think it was a career high minutes. I knew, again, there was an opportunity here to see how much we could push Bernie in a perfect game for him, right? They're not going to run a bunch of little guards out there. They're going to be a big physical team, and it lends itself as part of the reason, be honest, we recruited a guy like Bernie for a game like this, and I thought he met that challenge in an unbelievable fashion. Obviously, he fouled out, or else he may have been closer to 25 minutes. But his rebound and his presence on the defensive end, just having a body on Culver, I thought was a big shot in the arm for us because, those are the matchups that Caleb struggled with, to be perfectly frank. And Bernie came in and gave us a big lift.
You went to Bernie real quick too. I think within the first minute you went to him. Why was that?
I didn't like what I saw early on. Thought I could try to shake up the lineup a little bit, and I thought it helped us.
And last one for me for now, the free throw discrepancy, the turnover issues again. You guys still overcome something like that. A month ago, I don't know if you guys do that. How far has this team come in the last month or so?
Again, I don't think about it that way. I think of if we can figure out over the next couple of days before we head to Kansas City how to cut down on some of these turnovers, how good can we still become? It's my job is to make these guys better, but how much better can we become over the next 2 to 3 weeks? And my hope is that we can watch film and figure out how to cut down on some of these turnovers. Again, part of it is today we're playing out without our 2 first and second most primary ball handlers. Not to excuse it, but Bryce can't have 8 turnovers in a situation like that. But if we get that corrected, I feel very confident that we can, again, I've said it all along, we can compete with and beat most anybody in the country.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I'm going to ask whatever I want to ask. And
Yes, you
if somebody
can.
doesn't like it, they can knock me off the Zoom.
Nah, you're good,
But-
Barry. Go for it, bud.
But here's the deal, Mike. It's one thing to go to West Virginia and beat those guys without Likely and without Cade, but you did it with massive foul trouble. I mean, Matthew fouls out, Kuma fouls out, Avery's got 4 down the stretch, Caleb's got 4 down the stretch. What kind of things were you able to do even after you were shorthanded? You were double shorthanded. What did you do to make sure you still got the mission accomplished?
Well, you set a tone within your program of what's acceptable, and making excuses isn't one of those things that we allow here. If you're on scholarship here, you're required to be ready to help us win. That's part of your responsibility back to our program. And so I don't worry, really, whoever's available. It's been this way since my first year. I remember going to Kansas on a 3-game losing streak without Tabar Shine. And all we talked about was how we're going to win. And I think over time, guys just don't think about losing. Like, that's not part of the conversation. We just think about, what do we need to do? Whoever's available. What does Avery need to do today a little bit better? What does Caleb today need to do a little bit better? And that message is consistently delivered, not just for me, but my staff and then the leaders within the locker room. I looked those kids in the eye right before the game and told them, we expect to win. I mean, again, I understand why people would assume we couldn't or wouldn't have a chance, but those kids are warriors, man. They fight, they compete, they love each other. And I was not surprised at all by the way we played.
Did West Virginia just hammering the ball inside the last 6-7 minutes? I think they made maybe 2 baskets the last 7 minutes. Was that a case of you knew the whistle's coming, you were just going to have to basically score on the other end? It seemed like after you had a 2 or 3 point lead, you're going to win if you can score almost every time, and you ended up doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of you understand, and I think the officials work really hard. But there's a guy over there with 900 wins that's gone in the Hall of Fame who's chewing their air a little bit, and you got to understand that you're going to have to go win the game. You don't rely on anything external. Band together, figure out how to get a rebound when the ball's in the air, and then execute as well as you can offensively. Because yes, you're going to have to get shots in areas that you need them, and then you're going to have to step up and make free throws when they do call fouls for you. We did that.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Garen Emick from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Garen.
Mike, a lot has been made of Cade's unselfishness over the course of the year. But on one extreme, people are wondering if he's maybe too unselfish at times. Conversely, is his willingness to get his teammates involved and share the ball like he's done all year, does it put you in position where your guys can compensate like they did today?
No question. Cade was a big part of today's win. He was as vocal as he's been all year on the bench and timeouts. And I looked at him before the game during our meeting and said, hey, we need you today. Like, don't just go over there and sit down and not be engaged. Sure, you're not going to play. We understand why, but there's still other things that you can bring. And I didn't have to tell him that. I just knew that I should so his other teammates could hear, but I knew he would be that way. He's always been that way. It's who he is. It's why some of the criticism I've always said was unfair. The kid only cares about winning. And whether he's going to go out there and score 25 and take 25 shots or he's not going to play at all, he's going to be a great teammate every day. And it's one of the things that I believe, and I'm biased here, no question, that he's the best player in the country because he does have the talent and the expectations that he should be the man, but he doesn't let that distract from the main priority, which is trying to help his teammates in our program have success while he's here.
Has he made them measurably better, or have they done that on their own, his teammates, over the course of this season? Or what's the combination like there?
It's been both. And I think they've made him better, to be perfectly honest. Again, Avery Anderson is better because he has to go against Cade every day. But Avery wants that. There are many times in our preseason when we more mix up our teams as opposed to playing the rotational guys versus the guys who aren't playing as much, that Avery didn't want to be on the same team as Cade. When we play one-on-one in practice, which we do a lot, Avery wants to guard Cade. Now, he gets scored on a lot, but that makes him better because when he goes out there on the court like he did today, he's not playing against anybody better than he goes against in practice. And so there's a comfort level in the competitiveness of our team that any kind of situation we get in, and it benefits everybody. Cade's gotten better. The other guys have gotten better. And because of that, our team is getting better.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, I think a draft guy earlier in the year said that Cade was carrying mediocre talent. Oh, sorry, I didn't even know my video was off. Cade was carrying mediocre talent. Have you had to keep that noise away from the guys? You mentioned telling them before the game that you expect to win.
No, Cade's done that. Cade's kept that noise away from him. He infuses confidence in these guys every day. Again, there's a reason. Cade should have more assists than he does so far this year. He hasn't stopped passing the ball. He still passes the ball to guys that are open, and that continues to give them the belief that he knows that they're good enough to help him also. Now, there's no question. He's elevated the level of play for a lot of the individual guys, but those guys are all really good. We got a really good team. And again, I think maybe a glimpse into the future of our program. We got a lot of guys who play today that will be back and continue to recruit at the level that we believe we can. We think we've stabilized our program and have ourselves in position where we can continue to be relevant in the Big 12. And if you're relevant in Big 12, then you're relevant nationally.
Even with, all the outside factors of Cade not playing and stuff like that, how unusual is it for a team, not a direct question about officiating, but how unusual is it for a team to win a game minus 14 in free throw attempts?
I haven't been a part of very many. Let's say that. And, we still haven't played great, Marshall. Bryce wasn't very good today. He played really hard. 0 for 6 from 3, 2 for 10 from the field, 8 turnovers for the guy who was our primary ball handler today. So I look at it as we overcame a lot, but boy, we got a lot that we can get better at. And if we can figure out how to, again, get better at a couple more things here between now and Thursday, I like our chances in Kansas City and certainly in Indianapolis once we get there.
Your post players have been dogged on all year for not being able to handle big guys well. It seems like they handled Derek Culver pretty well. Just kind of talk through the progression you've seen out of that.
Again, the kids put in the work. They understand that a lot of times physically, whether it be from a height standpoint in MA's situation, because he's pretty strong enough, or Caleb, who has the height but not as strong, that a lot of times they're at a disadvantage physically. But it doesn't stop them from competing. It doesn't stop them from trying to do the other things, whether it be screening or outrunning their guys to help us. I thought Matthew Alexander-Moncrief was a man today in a game where we needed him to be a man. And I'm so proud of that kid because, a lot of this, Cade's overshadowed a lot of those other guys. He's having a really good year too, kind of quietly. Certainly think he's one of the best freshmen in our league, and I look forward to coaching him for a long time.
And the last thing for me, is there an expectation that you'll have Cade and Ice at the Big 12 tournament, or kind of what's that look like?
Yeah, I don't want to presume that. It's Saturday now. We don't play till Thursday. Certainly hopeful, but it's always about where are they? As our medical people, are they telling us that they're good? And that means, can they go out and play as hard as they need to help us win? If they can do that physically, then I feel good that they'll be there, but we'll take it day by day. I'm sure I'll talk to you guys before then, and we'll give you an update.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Danielle Dwyer from Fox 25. Go ahead, Danielle.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get my video up. There we go. Okay. Sorry, Mike. I wanted to ask you, I asked Avery this too. I jokingly said it was like headband magic for him today, since he brought the headband back. But at what point do you feel maybe the switch flipped for him maybe this season, or when did you really start seeing him kind of come into his own and really use that confidence? Because the second half of the season, he seems like a totally different player than the first half.
Yeah, not pushback, but I think it started a little earlier than halfway. He started his first game. I can't remember if he started a game last year, to be honest, but he started his first game of this year at Texas, I believe, and played really well. And fouled out. And I think since then, since he was inserted into the starting lineup, he's really gone to another level because in some ways, as much as I tell these guys how much I believe in them, I think starting sends a message to him also, right? Kind of just innately that coach really believes in me now. He's put me in the starting lineup. I don't really care who starts, to be perfectly honest. It's more important to me how we play as a group and who's in at the end of the game. But I think that might have been, if I go back and look, I bet that was kind of a turning point for him, and he's played very, very well since then.
In this season, we've seen, Farron come through with a couple key threes, or kind of when you guys need that boost. But today, Keylan had kind of took his hand in that. What did you like from him today? How important is that for him to be able to come off? This season hasn't exactly been steady for him. What did you like from him today with that?
Just his engagement. And he's been playing more here in the last couple of weeks. And part of it, again, goes back to having consistency in practice. You know, we had a heart-to-heart about a month ago, and I told him what he was doing wasn't good enough. And if he wanted to be a productive part of our team, he had to step up to the plate, and it starts in practice. He's been having more consistent practices. You know, probably outside of ice, he's our best rebounder. And today he actually, was able to make a few shots as well. And we need that. It's another element. It's one of the elements of our team that we've been missing, quite frankly. It's just a consistent outside threat. So it's another area that if we can continue to get productivity for, it totally changes the look of our team as we head into the most important part of the season.
And lastly, for me, forgive me if this is a known thing, but I wanted to ask about the puzzle piece pin. I usually when I see that, I think of Autism Speaks, and I didn't know if that was the same for that, or if that has to go with mental awareness, or if you could speak on that.
It was for autism. Coach Hugs does a lot of philanthropy work up here, and a lot of it does with kids with autism and trying to continue to raise awareness for it. And so we certainly participated because we think it's really important.
Thank you.
All right, our final question will come from Myron Patton from Fox 25. Go ahead, Myron.
Yeah, Coach. I remember back, I think it was November on early practice where you said you wouldn't trade your guards for anybody. Seeing how not just today, your top two guards are out. You said Bryce didn't play as well today, but he hit some big shots against Oklahoma. Obviously, Avery today. Is this what you were talking about in terms of just your guards and how good you thought they could beat us?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, I have an advantage. I recruited all these dudes. So, I don't want to say I'm a prophet or anything, but I did see some things in the preseason that gave me a lot of confidence that we'd be able to match up with most people on the perimeter. And what we need to continue to get better is on our interior presence, both offensively and defensively. And certainly an area we'll continue to work on this summer, but we'll continue to recruit some depth in there as well, because again, a lot of these guards we'll have back. And if we can add some front court depth to what we have on the perimeter, again, I think it gives us a chance to take another step forward in the league.
All right, looks like that'll do it for questions. Coach, before we let you go, though, is there anything maybe big that we missed that while we've got the group together is something that you want to talk about?
Proud of these kids. Hell of an effort on the road against a really good team. I mean, that team's going to be a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament. And so I'm proud of what we did. We talked about after the Kansas game in Lawrence, a 7-game season. Going 6-1 is the second best thing you could do. And our only loss coming on the road to a team that is going to be a 1 seed. So proud of what we did and look forward to getting better when we get back.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win. Safe travels home.
Thanks.
We appreciate you. Members of the media, we appreciate you as well.